Good evening and welcome to Mastermind with me, Jennifer Byrne. Tonight marks the start of our last Second Chance week. Top scoring runners-up have been invited back to take another crack at the title. Why? Because we just wanted them here. These four familiar faces know the game, they know their subjects, and this time they are coming for the win. And here they are. Our first contender tonight is Louise Sharp, with her specialist subject, Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. Next, Ani Joshi will be tested on the Indian independence movement. Our third contender, Patrick Phelan, will be questioned on the anime series Revolutionary Girl Athena. And finally, Gus Laidlaw will be challenged on the Sydney Swans. All these four contenders made it this close last time around, and that means tonight's competition will be fiercer than ever. 2 minutes on their specialist subject and 90 seconds on general knowledge. Will the second time around be their golden ticket? Let's find out. Will the first contender join me, please? Your name?
Louise Sharp,
Your occupation?
video editor.
And your specialist subject?
Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights.
Which pretty much tops most lists of favourite reads. Why do you think that is?
It's incredibly passionate, it's violent, it's got a whole gamut of emotions to go through. It's a classic.
I don't know how it would look in the Me Too era, but it certainly used to be a fantastically popular read. Well, listen, are you ready?
Yes.
Then, Louise, your time starts now. Emily Bronte's only novel, Wuthering Heights, was published under the pseudonym Ellis Bell in December 1847, a year before the author's death from what infectious disease?
Tuberculosis.
Correct. Brought back to Wuthering Heights by Mr. Earnshaw, the orphan Heathcliff was a dirty, ragged, black-haired child picked up on the streets of which English city?
Liverpool.
Correct. Deliberately kept away from the Heights by her father, Edgar, young Cathy eventually disobeys orders during his trip away and travels there on her pony with what name?
Minnie.
Correct. The story of Wuthering Heights opens just after Lockwood has returned from a visit with his landlord and solitary neighbour, Heathcliff, in what year?
1801.
Correct. Before Isabella flees her cruel husband and the Heights for good, she taunts Heathcliff about Catherine, causing him to snatch what object from the table and fling it at her head?
A knife.
Correct. Many of the book's themes and characters were developed in Emily Bronte's early poems, which depict what imaginary island world she and her sister Anne created as children.
Gondal.
That's right. In the book's second half, the younger Cathy teases her cousin Hareton Earnshaw about his poor literacy and mocks his attempts at reading which English ballad?
The Ballad of Chevy Chase.
That's right. While staying at Wuthering Heights, Lockwood dreams that Catherine's ghost is at his window, begging him to let her in as she's been a waif for how many years?
20.
Correct. The book's final line sees Lockwood at the graves of Heathcliff, Catherine and Edgar, and wondering how anyone could ever imagine unquiet slumbers for the sleepers in that...
Quiet Earth.
Correct. Described variously as a stout housewife and a narrow-minded, selfish woman, who is the servant at Wuthering Heights who shows Lockwood up to the forbidden room?
Zilla.
Correct. After hurling a tureen of applesauce at Edgar, Heathcliff is beaten and locked in the garret by Hindley, and as a result misses the dance held for what festive occasion?
The Feast of St. Michael's?
Christmas. Heathcliff overhears Catherine tell which character that despite their love, marrying Heathcliff would degrade her and that she is instead destined to be with Edgar Linton.
Nellie Dean.
That's right. Well, very good. Louise, you've used your time away fruitfully. That is 11 points to you and not a pass.
Thank
well
you.
done. And our second contender, please. Your name?
Aniruddha Joshi,
Your occupation?
IT professional,
And your specialist subject?
India's independence movement from 1900 to 1947.
It's interesting. Your specialist subject last time were Japanese bullet trains. What is the link between these two subjects?
There's no link between the two, but my grandparents were involved in the independence movement, and I sort of grew up listening to a lot of it, so I thought it's good to do it for the family.
Well, Ani, very good to have you back. Are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now. After returning from South Africa in 1915, Mohandas Gandhi spent the first year travelling around India without taking a public stand on political issues, on the advice of who?
Gopal Krishna Gokhale.
Correct. Gandhi's method of opposition by passive resistance or non-violent civil disobedience was given what Sanskrit name meaning truth or soul force?
Satyagraha.
Correct. In his 1606 presidential address to the Indian National Congress, who, known as the Grand Old Man of India, stated the goal of the INC was self-government.
Dadabhai Navroji.
Correct. In November 1936, the Maharaja of Travancore yielded to popular campaigns and issued a proclamation opening temples to all Hindus, regardless of their what?
Caste.
Correct. After the failure of the Cripps mission at Wyche Park in Mumbai, did Gandhi address a Congress meeting in August 1942, issuing the famous call of do or die?
Goalia Tank Maidan.
Yes. Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920, which was withdrawn in 1922 after some protesters set fire to a police station, killing 22 policemen in which city?
Chauri Chaura.
Yes. First published in San Francisco in November 1914 and proclaiming itself an enemy of British rule, was the weekly newspaper whose Urdu name, Gada, means what?
Revolution.
Correct. Resisting change from 1911 until 1948, Osman Ali Khan was the autocratic Nizam of which princely state of India, far larger in size than England and Wales combined?
Hyderabad.
Correct. In 1914, the Gada movement of nationalist expatriates in North America was fueled by resentment arising from 376 fellow Indians being denied entry to Canada aboard which ship?
Komangata Maru.
Correct. The Attlee government had initially announced 30th of June 1948 as the date for the British withdrawal from India and appointed which new viceroy with the task of winding up the Raj by that date?
Lord Mountbatten.
It was him. Which militant group, crushed after looting cash from a train in the village of Papuri, was formed by... I've started, so I will finish. By Ramprasad Bismil and others with the objective of overthrowing colonial rule?
Hindustan Republican Army.
Ani, very good. Well, Ani, only the second round and it's getting exciting already. You too have no passes and 11 points. Well done. Our next contender, please. Your name,
Patrick Phelan,
your occupation,
writer.
and your specialist subject?
The anime series Revolutionary Girl Utena.
And are you seriously into anime full stop, or it's particularly this series?
This was a particular favourite of mine for some considerable time.
Why?
It's almost incomprehensible strangeness and at the same time an impassioned and driving story that makes no sense and at the same time makes perfect sense. It's wonderful.
Well, this... You've intrigued me. I think you're ready. Are you?
I am as ready as I will be.
Your time starts now. Primarily about a girl called Utena who vows to become a prince, Revolutionary Girl Utena is a Japanese anime series first released on Tokyo TV in what year?
1997.
Correct. Serving as the main setting for much of the anime series and housing students ranging from elementary school to college is what academy attended by Utena?
Otori.
Correct. The anime Revolutionary Girl Utena is based on an original manga serial first released in 1996 by Japanese artist Shiho Hu.
Saito.
Correct. In the first episode, Utena beats Kyoichi Seonji in a duel and later discovers she is now engaged to Anthe, who's known as the what bride?
Rose Bride.
Correct. Used as the anime's opening theme song and also featured in the film Adolescence of Utena, the song Rondo Revolution is performed by which Japanese singer?
Pass.
In the episode titled On the Night of the Ball, when Utena asks Anthe if she has any friends, Anthe claims that which monkey is her friend?
Choo-choo.
Yes. In the Japanese cast, the character Anthe Himemiya is voiced by Yoriko Fuchizaki, while the English dubbed version is voiced by which actress?
Pass.
While Utena was younger, she met a travelling prince on a white horse who gave her what piece of jewellery, which he claimed would lead her back to him one day?
A ring, the rose signet.
Correct. In Cowbell of Happiness, Nanami receives a cowbell purportedly from which luxury brand used by the British royal family?
Sebastian Dior.
Correct. Featured repeatedly through the series and often referred to by fans as the chick speech, the student council oath includes the line, "We are the chick, the world is our what?"
Egg.
Yes. Mitsuru reveals that Nanami and her friends sabotaged a dish made by Utena and Anthe by adding 9 billion-fold curry to it, which caused Utena and Anthe to switch what?
Personalities.
Correct. In the episode titled The Rose Crest, Utena, Anthe and Akio attend which play put on by the Otori Drama Club?
The Prince's Story.
The Tale of the Rose.
Oh.
Good job on that. 2 passes for you, Patrick. The song Rondo Revolution is performed by the Japanese singer Masami Okui. And it is Sharon Becker who does the English dub of Anthe's voice. 9 correct. Thank you very much. Well done so far, everyone. And won't you join us, please, after the break to find out how much Gus knows about the Sydney Swans. Be right back. Welcome back to Mastermind. And it is time for our 4th contender, Gus, to take on his specialist subject round. Our final contender, please. Your name,
Gus Laidlaw,
your occupation,
technical writer.
and your specialist subject.
Sydney Swans, 2005 to present.
You are a fabulously eclectic group, I must say. Last time it was UK singer Dave Edmonds, was that right?
That's right, yes.
I don't want to waste too much Mastermind time, but why do you love him?
Just because of their commitment and courage and excitement.
Yeah.
They're a fantastic team.
Your eyes have gone all soft when you talk about them, but toughen up, because we're about to go to the questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Gus, your time to be grilled about the Sydney Swans starts now. With a club-high 372 games, 2 premierships and dual Brownlow medals, which champion in March 2019 became the 8th Swan elevated to Bloods legend status?
Adam Goods.
Yes, ranking 3rd on the club's all-time list of most games played while captain, who is also the only Swan on the 2019 roster to have played over 300 games.
Jared McVeigh.
Yes. Premiership players Leo Barry, Jared Crouch and Michael O'Loughlin all retired in what year? The first since 2002, in which the Swans did not play finals.
2009.
Correct. In 2005, the Swans earned a finals double chance after 16 wins in their last 19 games, avenging a controversial qualifying final loss by beating which same team in the grand final?
West Coast Eagles.
Yes. In the last seconds of the 2005 AFL Grand Final, which decorated defender outmarked a huge pack to ensure the Swans broke their 72-year premiership drought.
Leo Barry.
Correct. In the 2012 Grand Final against Hawthorn, the Swans were outsiders but kicked the last 4 goals of the game to finish how many points ahead?
10.
Yes. Drafted from the Adelaide Crows with an 11th pick in 2012, which player had to retire prematurely in January 2018 due to persistent hamstring, hip and ankle injuries?
Kurt Tippett.
Correct. A journalist, author, solicitor and teacher, which key member of the Sydney Swans Diversity Action Plan Committee was announced as the #1 ticket holder for the 2019 season?
Cynthia Banham.
Correct. From 2005, Brett Kirk, Adam Goods, Jared McVeigh and Luke Parker have all been best and fairest twice, with which player winning 3 times in 2012, 2015 and 2016?
Josh Kennedy.
Correct. Long-term injuries to key Swans led to new players Dane Rampey, Jed Lamb, Tom Mitchell and Xavier Richards all making their club debut in which year?
2014.
13. Taking over from Richard Collis at the end of the 2013 season and soon embroiled in controversies around Sydney's cost of living allowance was which current club chairman? And you may answer.
Andrew Pridham.
Very good. Correct. Well done, Gus. No passes, 10 correct. If you'd like to take your seat. So that brings us to the end of the specialist subject round, and let's have a look at all the scores. Squeezy. In 3rd place with 9 points is Patrick. In 2nd place with 10 points is Gus. And tying in 1st place, each with 11 points and no passes, is Louise and Annie. Doesn't get much closer than that. It is now time for the general knowledge round. And just as they did last time, contenders need to think fast and think smart. There are 90 seconds on the clock. If there's a tie at the end, the person with the fewest number of overall passes will be tonight's winner. And we will start with the contender currently in third place. Will Patrick join me again, please? Well, Patrick, you're just tiny at the heels of a very, very tight pack.
It gives me motivation at this point,
It gives
I
you
suppose.
plenty of motivation. And as you know from your past experience, the general knowledge round is the great leveller. Are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now. Named after the SS Minnow's bumbling first mate, which 60s TV show features a professor and a millionaire among its stranded castaways?
Gilligan's Island.
Yes. According to 2016 figures released by the OECD, which powerful country has the highest annual consumption of meat per capita at 97.1 kilos?
China.
USA. Running from the lower back to the bottom of the leg, what is the longest and widest nerve in the human body?
Pass.
In 1970, Harry Williams became the first Indigenous person to be selected for the national team in which sport?
Cricket.
Soccer. A high-ranking military commander during World War I, what nationality was Marshal Ferdinand Foch?
Italian.
French. What birds are distinguished by their long beaks and throat pouches that are used to scoop up fish and are capable of holding up to 13 litres of water?
Pelicans.
Correct. In the 1987 film Dirty Dancing, Baby Houseman, played by Jennifer Grey, memorably carries what large fruit to a party?
Pineapple.
A watermelon. Before gaining popularity in Europe, porcelain, in its original form, was first made in what Asian country?
Korea.
China. Also known as Charles I, or the Great, who was crowned Emperor of the Romans by Pope Leo III in December AD 800.
Charlemagne.
Correct. In 2014, which American actor married human rights barrister Amal Al-Muddin in Venice?
George Clooney.
Correct. What computer programming language shares its name with a kind of snake but was actually named for a famous British comedy group?
Python.
Correct. In 1987, I've started, so I'll finish. In 1987, while standing at the Brandenburg Gate in West Berlin, which US president demanded, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall? And you may answer.
Ronald Reagan.
Correct. And that is your round. We have just the one pass. It was the sciatic nerve, which is that long one running all the way down. 6 correct, bringing you to a total of 15, a very handsome score. Thank you. And now, can we have Gus, please? Well, Gus, it's squeaky tight here. 10 points already. Are you ready for the general knowledge round to begin?
Yeah, ready.
All right. Tighten up. Loosen up. We're going. Your time starts now. In which sitcom of the 1980s does Michael J. Fox play Alex Keaton, a young Republican with ex-hippie parents?
Family Ties.
True. First released for smartphones in 2014, Cortana is the digital assistant for which personal computer operating system?
Windows.
Yes. The minor arcana of a traditional deck of tarot cards is sorted into 4 suits, commonly known as wands, pentacles, cups, and which other?
Spoons.
Swords. Which renowned 1960 novel starts with the line, when he was nearly 13, my brother Jem got his arm badly broken at the elbow?
Pass.
Who became the first director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in 1935 and held that position until his death in 1972?
Hoover.
Yes. Which Prime Minister famously admitted the devastating impact of white settlement on Indigenous people in 1992's Redfern speech?
Paul Keating.
Correct. Often caused by hepatitis B and C and excessive alcohol consumption, scarring of the liver is known by what term from the Greek word for yellow or tawny?
Cirrhosis.
Yes. Which actor provided the voice for the character Rocky in the animated movie Chicken Run?
Mel Gibson.
Correct. In oceanography, the Agulhas Current and Benguela Current both flow past which continent?
South America.
Africa. In the fourth of a series of panels by Michelangelo on the Sistine Chapel ceiling, God is famously depicted reaching out to which other biblical figure?
Moses.
Adam. Set in the fictional town of Titipu is what 2-act Gilbert and Sullivan operetta featuring the character Nanki Poo?
The Mikado.
That's right. Just one pass for you. The famous quote about my brother Jem, that was from To Kill a Mockingbird. So only that one pass and a score of 7, bringing you to a total of 17. Well done. After the break, our final two contenders, Louise and Arnie, take to the chair again. See you soon. Welcome back to Mastermind. Our final two contenders, Louise and Arnie, are about to take on 90 seconds of their general knowledge challenge. The current overall score to beat is 17. And joining me next, Louise. "17 the score to beat. As I say, 11 you're bringing with you already. Are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now. In the name of the Australian 2020 Cricket League, known as the BBL, for what does the second B stand?
Bash.
Yes. In 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay became the first two people to ascend the summit of what Asian mountain?
Mount Everest.
Yes. What search engine features an I'm feeling lucky button that, when used with the search term, takes users directly to the top search result?
Google.
Yes. In the 2016 Disney film The Jungle Book, man-eating tiger Shere Khan is voiced by which English actor?
Idris Elba.
Correct. Thought to have originated in India and played on a 9x9 square board, the game shogi is a Japanese version of which game?
Chinese checkers.
Chess. Which major European airport has the International Air Transport Association code LHR?
London Heathrow.
That's right. Based on an image from a DC comic was the iconic 1963 pop artwork Wham! By which American artist?
Andy Warhol.
Roy Lichtenstein. In geometry, isosceles, scalene and equilateral are categories of which two-dimensional shape?
Triangle.
Yes. Comprising Mike's sons and Carol's daughters, the blended family in the TV show The Brady Bunch comprised how many children?
6.
Yes. Known for his novel Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, author Charles Lutwidge Dodgson is better known by what pen name?
Lewis Carroll.
Yes. In a human skeleton, the metatarsal bones are found in the feet, but where in the body would you find the metacarpal bones?
Fingers.
No, the hands. The name of the subatomic particles known as quarks derives from a 1939 walk by which Irish author?
Pass.
Well done. You have just one pass that round for you. Interestingly, the quarks comes from a novel by James Joyce. You scored 8 points, 8 correct answers, bringing you to a total of 19. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you.
And finally, Arnie, please join us. You come, Arnie, already with 11 points, and 19 is the figure to beat. Are you ready?
Yes.
Your general knowledge round starts now. Later made into a film starring Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton was Edward Albee's 1962 play, Who's Afraid of Virginia what?
Wolf.
Yes. Often kept as pets, the Carassius auratus is a species of fish better known by what common name?
Goldfish.
Yes. When Rome was badly damaged by a fire in AD 64, many suspected which emperor had started the fire himself?
Nero.
Correct. The son of one US president and the brother of another, John Ellis Bush, is best known by what nickname based on his initials?
George W. Bush.
Jeb. First depicted by Dutch astronomer Petrus Plancius in 1612, the Monoceros constellation represents what mythical animal?
Bull.
Unicorn. Who was the Dean of St Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin from 1713 to 1745, who wrote the classic Gulliver's Travels?
Twist.
Jonathan Swift. The artistic installation Sunflower Seeds and the photographic work Dropping a Han Dynasty Urn were created by Chinese artist and activist Ai Hu.
Wei.
Correct. Which Australian band that formed in Newcastle released the albums Neon Ballroom and Young Modern?
Midnight Oil.
Silverchair. Home to Lake Trasmino is which landlocked region of central Italy whose capital is Perugia?
Tuscany.
Umbria. Shahada, Salah, Sawum and Zukat and Hajj are known as the 5 pillars of which world religion?
Islam.
That is correct. Well, Arnie, no passes, a score of 5 and a total of 16. And that is the end of the general knowledge round, which I have to say is the definition of squeezy. Incredibly close results, so let's check them out. In fourth place, with 15 points, we have Patrick. In third place, with 16 points, Arnie. In second place, with 17 points, is Gus. And in first place, just moving a little forward of the ruck, with 19 points, is Louise. Congratulations. Congratulations. Coming back has paid off for you, and we will see you in our weekly final. We look forward to that. If our contenders inspired you so that you think you'd like to have a go also in the black chair, visit sbs.com.au/mastermind, apply and come join us. And certainly do join us again tomorrow evening. Look forward to your company then. I'm Jennifer Byrne. Good night.